Welcome back to some new r/malicious compliance stories, where people comply to the letter, but not the spirit of a request. I hope you had a great day. Thanks for all the likes and comments on the last video. And now let's start with the first story. It's called Zero Overtime. Years ago I worked as a supervisor in a meat packing plant. Big operation, huge workforce. And while it had its ups and downs, it generally ran smoothly. Then came Bob, our new production manager. Bob wasn't promoted from the floor, didn't come from leadership. He had an engineering background. Fine, I thought, maybe fresh eyes will help. That optimism lasted about 4.5 minutes. First meeting, first day, Bob announces he's here to right the ship. Bold statement for a ship that was already sailing just fine. Then he lays down his big idea. From now on, no more overtime. We are wasting money. I asked the obvious question. What about covering for sick calls, vacations, emergencies? His response? No overtime, no exceptions. Now, picture this. My team alone was 70 people. The whole plant had about 220. We averaged 7 sick calls a day. Plus vacations, plus people leaving early, plus leaves of absence. Do the math. The ship wasn't about to sail, it was about to sink. By Friday I gave him one last warning. We are going to be short 19 people next week. Can we approve overtime? Flat out no. So I didn't push it, didn't escalate. If Bob wanted to sink, I'd happily hand him the anchor. Monday comes. 2 production lines sit completely idle. Bob storms up to me. Why aren't these lines running? Mechanical issue? No, Bob. We don't have people to run them. I asked for overtime. You said no. He sputtered something about staffing appropriately and better planning. Before finally screaming, get some freaking people in here. Too late. By the time I started calling employees at home, the damage was done. Those 2 idle lines cost the company $120,000 in a single day. Later, his boss, the guy I'd worked with for a decade, pulled me aside during a break. His words? What was he thinking? I thought engineers were supposed to be smart. I nearly choked laughing. Bob lasted about 3 months. The next story is called He Asked for It. I used to work on the loading dock of a fruit packing plant. Orders came in for pallets of apples, heavy boxes, different sizes, and always needing to be rearranged just so. We'd haul them out of cold storage with forklifts, break them down by hand, restack, and then load them into semis. Dusty, sweaty, physical work, but we all carried our share. Well, most of us. There was one guy, Shane, not the brightest bulb, but with the ego of someone who thought he was running the place. Imagine assistant to the regional manager vibes, minus the humor. He had a knack for disappearing whenever the hardest part of the job came around, and somehow management never pressed him on it. This time though, the job rotation landed him with most of the hand stacking. Fair enough, I had done it on the previous order while he'd conveniently wandered off. It happens, but it was a pattern. So he's huffing and puffing with the boxes, and I have a choice. Jump in right away or finish tying off the tops of full pallets first. Still physical work, but not backbreaking. I figured I'd give my arms a breather and then join him. When I walked over, I grabbed the box, started breaking the glue that holds the stacks together, and was about to lift. That's when he hit me with it. He might as well let me finish it myself. Now, this was a line our supervisor had been using recently, kind of throwing people when they were lagging, but meant as a push. Shane though threw it at me with pure self-righteousness, like he was putting me in my place. So I froze, box in hand, half the glue broken, looked him dead in the eye. Okay, I dropped the box right where it was, turned around and walked across the dock. That's when I noticed the rest of the crew and my supervisor already standing there, done with their work, watching the whole scene unfold. I braced for my soup to rip into me. He hated petty arguments slowing things down, but he didn't say a word. Nobody did. I walked over calmly, joined the group, and we all stood there, watching. Shane kept stacking alone. You could practically see his brain trying to process it. like gears turning but not catching. It only took a couple more minutes, but it was glorious. He wanted to play the martyr? Fine, he got exactly what he asked for. The third story is called Don't Touch Anything. I was 18, working part-time at a little retail shop. On busy days, I usually jumped in to unpack boxes and restock without needing to be told. It kept things moving and made everyone's lives easier. But one shift, my manager suddenly snapped at me. Don't touch anything unless I specifically tell you. Got it? Alright then. So I parked myself behind the counter, boxes stacked higher in the back. Customers asked where things were, and I smiled politely. Oh, I'll have to check with my manager. I wasn't told I could move stock. Within an hour, the place was chaos. Empty shelves out front, towers of boxes in the back, and my manager running around like the world was ending. Finally, she stormed up to me. Why isn't anything getting done? I shrugged. I was waiting for you to tell me what to touch. Funny thing, that rule never came up again. The last story is called Not As Expected. I was on a 1-year contract as an operations engineer in a small department of 4. The seniors hated doing extra work, so whenever a new networking task came up, they got dumped on me. I didn't mind too much. It was good experience, but the lack of appreciation and low pay made me start looking for other jobs as my contract wound down. With a month left, I landed a much better offer from one of my old employers. Since my current company never even brought up renewing my contract, I thought I'd do the polite thing and give them a heads up. I walked into my manager's office with my resignation letter. He'd only been promoted 6 months earlier and acted like he was untouchable. I explained I wouldn't be renewing, that I'd be happy to do a proper handover and train people before I left. He glanced at the letter, got visibly angry and snapped. I'm not signing this until I decide when you can leave. That will be after I find a replacement and when I'm in a better mood. Until then, you're not going anywhere. I tried to explain about my contract, but before I got 2 words out, he barked, "No more talking. Did you not hear me? I won't approve this until I say so. Don't bring it up again until I'm ready." Alright then. So I just kept working through the final month, quietly, and did absolutely no handover. On my last day, I walked into his office with my laptop and badge. "What's this?" he asked. "My stuff. Today's my last day." He smirked, thinking he'd cornered me. "Stop joking. I told you I haven't acknowledged your resignation. In fact, I've just decided your last day will be 2 months from now. We need time to hire and train a replacement. So take your stuff and get back to work." I smiled. "Nope. My contract ends today. I'm not paid past this point." "You... what?" "Yep, my resignation letter was just a courtesy. But you wouldn't let me explain. Go call HR if you don't believe me." I watched the confidence drain from his face as I walked out for good. A few months later, I heard he tried to pin the blame on me, but instead got chewed out by the director. They had to hire a network engineer at triple my salary, and in the meantime, the department breached multiple SLAs. Thanks for watching the video to the end. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. And if you have time, watch another one of my videos. Also, if you want to support me further, check out the channel membership or Patreon. And now, I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.